Mayhew.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you through the sponsorship of the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zoom's, home of the Sub Club and the Bubba Club deal. By Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in Denby Medical Center.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, never an overtime charge. And by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Poquoson. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for this intra-city contest between the Menchville Monarchs with a 1-3 record and the Kecoughtan Warriors with a 2-1 record. Bob, a little sidelight to us. The fans may not know this. In the most recent years, we've done just Hampton games. We've been able to expand that schedule. This is our second one. Looking forward to tonight's game with Menchville.
Really am. I had a chance to go up and talk to Coach Jacob, and you know, I looked at his squad. He's got such a small squad. He doesn't got but 38 guys on it, and they got 2,100 kids at that school. But he says, we draw from 5 middle schools. We don't know who we're going to get, and it's so long. And he says, and the buses, when they're there to take the kids home, the kids got to be ready. You know, you can't go extra practice, so you can't walk home like you can with some schools. But he's not using that as an excuse. But they've got a young team. They're small. They got kids playing out of position. He's got a fullback playing a tackle. I mean, this is just, you know, he's just trying to make some things happen. Defensively, what he did, and against Bethel it really worked, is he starts sending his people, doing a lot of stunts and everything, trying to upset the timing in the backfield, the blocking schemes and that sort of thing, just to create some havoc. He says, because we're not big enough to sit there and pound with people, so we try to do some things to mess them up. Should have beaten Bethel. Had a 1st and goal on the 2, should have scored, didn't, led at halftime, but lost that game. You know, so they're not a bad team, and Kurt said, well, you know, you come in here, you don't take any team lightly in the peninsula.
No, and I'm not saying for a moment that Bethel did, but Bethel tangled with a young Phoebus team last Friday night and found out what happens when you're not totally prepared for the game. So Phoebus did a real good job last week. Congratulations to them for that big victory over the previously undefeated Bethel Bruins. But tonight, Kecoughtan now coming off of that tough, real good beating they took by Hampton in the first game of the season, but to come back with 2 in a row, it looks like Kurt Newsom's team is rolling again.
Well, they really are, Tim, and he's got such great running backs, especially in the Forte kid and Morant. But what he does that I really like is he'll take the 6'3", 270-pound Marlon Hicks, stick him in the backfield and run a power run. And you got a linebacker back there weighing 180 pounds, and there's a 270 guy coming at you. I mean, it's hard to stand in his way. But they do a good job of running the ball control. That is Kecoughtan's thing that they want to do. But if they have to pass it, Jovan Quillen can throw the ball and throw it well.
And we've seen this Kecoughtan team, and we've seen a Kurt Newsom coach team many times, and they're always prepared. They will be prepared for this Menchville team. We don't know a lot about the Menchville team. We know that they have one victory. They beat Woodside. They've lost to Denby in a tough battle. They lost to Gloucester, and, of course, they lost that game to Bethel, which by a lot of considerable thoughts by people we've talked to, they probably should have won that game.
Yeah, they really should have. And it was just a bad call on 2nd down. They tried something fancy rather than just trying to pound it in. You got 4 tries from 2 yards out. You can pick up a half a yard to try. And I mean, it sounds funny, but you can do it. And all you have to do is just get a little push. The only thing has to cross the goal line is the ball. The body doesn't have to get across, just the ball. So I know that if Coach Jacob could go back, he would call a different play on that 2nd and goal.
How many coaches would? Most coaches would love to have a second chance. Well, we're going to have a good game for you tonight. The Menchville Monarchs 1-3, Kecoughtan 2-1. A little while earlier, Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Kurt Newsom, and after that, Tom Jacob will be back with the starting lineups after those interviews.
I got Kurt Newsom with me. That's Kurt with a C, not a K. We don't get it mixed up here with the guy from Germany. Good team that you're playing tonight. They're kind of inexperienced, but in the Peninsula District, you can't take anybody lightly, can you?
Right. I thought they really played solid their last game against Bethel. You know, they had a chance to win the game, and Bethel's got a good football team, and they've got enough skill people to definitely give you some problems.
Well, you know, I look at your team, and you did some things that really excited me. You put Marlon Hicks in the backfield. You got a kid 6'3", 270 as a leading blocker. Man, will that open up some holes.
Well, we've got that power game, and we feel like if we're getting shut down and we need to move the clock or something like that, it's been real good to us. It's really for our goal line package, but we have no problem using that in the open field.
All right. And then, of course, your two running backs, Forte and Morant, are doing well, and of course I know how high you are in Quillen.
You know, I think all the backs have done a great job, and Javon's just a joy to work with. You know, he's been real solid, and feel real good about this football team. I think we're going in the right direction, and I think we're going to be fine.
And not only just talk about offense, but you got a defense that's starting to gel, come along real good. I'm real high on this Keith Mann kid. I just think he is one awesome player, and of course Marlon plays tremendous defense, and then you got this Tillery kid who's just a sophomore.
Right. Keith is a junior, and he's as fast as any linebackers we've ever had, and he's just a special guy. And BJ has stepped right in, really understands the game. He's a young leader, and he's a good football player. Marlon in the middle, he's solid. In the last 2 weeks, we've given up a total of 4 yards rushing, and that's against Phoebus and Heritage. And of course, Heritage tries to run the ball. You know, they're not going to try to beat you with the pass. So we feel real good about our defense right now.
Well, and you guys have always get better as the season goes along, and we're looking for a good game from you tonight.
I hope so. We're looking forward to it. You know, we're ready to play. We've had 2 weeks off, and it's time to get back out on this field.
There you go. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for Coach Jacob. I have Coach Tom Jacobs with me, and Coach, I know you got a young team, and it always hurts you when you got a young team, but you always can look to next year. But what hurts you is not only young, but inexperienced, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We have several young men that normally would be running backs, and we've tried to bring them in at offensive line. And so it's been a new position for them to learn, and we are making progress each week, but the trouble is we continue to play the tougher teams as the season goes on.
Well, I don't think there's any weak team in the Peninsula District, but I know you had a good chance to beat a good Bethel team, and were down there, just couldn't punch the ball in, but you had to get a little bit of confidence from your kids because as well as you played against Bethel.
Yeah, the kids seemed very up after that game, even though we did lose it and it was a tight game. We played with them all the way, and of course we were winning at half. And the young men, they were looking better. I hope that they've gotten confidence and now carry over into tonight's contest.
Okay. Tell me a little bit what you expect from Kecoughtan tonight.
Kecoughtan is loaded for bear. They have a very good football team. They have a good running game, passing game when they need to. They really air it out. They try to match up speed on speed, and the line does a great job of protecting Quinlan, and the running backs. They have a host of big running backs, and that has given us some problems early in this season.
All right. Well, I know you got your work cut out for you when you play anybody. Well, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Okay, Bob.
Appreciate you stopping by and
Thank
talking
you.
to us. Stay tuned for the opening credits and tonight's starting lineups.
The first quarter of action tonight is brought to you by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Also on staff are Brian Wood and John Ware. By Zooms, where the deal is the Bubba Club Special. When you buy 4 fountain drinks, the 5th one is free.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Dr. Bruce Fuller, now located in the Denby Medical Center, with Saturday hours available. And by Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. There you see the teams as they come on the field. On the far side of the field, the Menchville Monarchs, as Bob mentioned in our pregame show, a small team in both size and number. And, of course, the homestanding Kecoughtan Warriors. And we hope that you're able to hear us over the Kecoughtan band that is set up directly in front of us. And they stopped playing just for a moment, Bob.
Well, I'm glad they did. Tim, well, we got a chance. We got a perfect night for football.
Boy.
We didn't talk about the weather in our pregame, but there is virtually zero breeze, and the temperature is in, what would you say, low
mid-60s. I mean,
mid-60s.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous night. And
really
this game,
is.
of course, videotaped on the 3rd of October, 1997. Let's go down to the center of the field for the introduction of the officials.
To the Kecoughtan captains Hicks, Quillen, Hart, and Moran. Shake hands, gentlemen.
Number 21, Carlton Moran, and number 51, Marlon Hicks.
Let me introduce the rest of the game officials. Mr. Owens, Mr. Chisholm, Mr. Mayhew, Mr. Moore. The stadium clock is official unless we tell you different. Going to call Menchville white, going to call Kecoughtan green. If there is a penalty, remember, whichever captain's closer, come to me. I'll give what I think is best for your team first, okay? But I got to take the first thing you say. Some penalties have 3 or more options. I'll give you what I think is best for your team, okay? But I got to take the first thing you say. We're reenacting a toss made about 20 minutes ago. We're having Kecoughtan step down here with me. And receiving down here. Kecoughtan won the toss, elected to receive. Shake hands, have a good game.
All right, thank you, and we thank Carter Ficklin for allowing us to put a microphone on him tonight so that you can hear his comments and his descriptions of the penalties. We always appreciate the Peninsula District officials. They've always been everything but just incredibly cooperative.
They really have. We're very fortunate that they are, because they don't have to wear that microphone.
The Menchville Monarchs, as we mentioned, 1-3 on the season. A young team, we've talked about that. They started the season with a 30-11 loss at the hands of the Denby Patriots. Then they beat Woodside 24-6, lost to Gloucester 27-7, and then last time out, that was 2 weeks ago, since they've had a bye, they were defeated by Bethel 13-7. For the Kecoughtan Warriors, they are, as we've said, 2-1. They started the season losing to Hampton 27-7. Came back and beat Phoebus the following week, a game we were happy to bring you here on Channel 5 by the score of 21-7. And then last time out, they beat Heritage by the score of 49-6. We're about set to get this game underway. Both teams are on the field. For the Menchville Monarchs, looks like number 23, Mark Belote, will be the man kicking off. Back deep for the Kecoughtan Warriors, number 21, Carlton Morant, inside his 10-yard line. Keith Mann on the far side of the field is also back deep, along with Antonio Palmer, number 6, to the near side. And we are set to go from Darling Stadium. Kick is going to be fielded inside the 10. This is Keith Mann. Keith Mann, nice move to get into the middle of the field, still on his feet, and still finally taken down at the Kecoughtan 33-yard line.
That was a great move by Mann, who is outstanding defensive player.
So the Kecoughtan Warriors will go on offense to start the ball game from their 33-yard line. 12-minute quarters in high school football. Here's your offense. The center is McCrary. Rogers and Button are the guards, and Eusner and St. John are the tackles for the Kecoughtan Warriors. That was a 50-yard kickoff and a 14-yard return by Keith Mann. First play of the ball game. This is Morant turning the corner. He has one man to beat, and he will do so. He will go coast to coast from the 33-yard line, a 67-yard touchdown.
Tim, that was no more than a power sweep. Nobody got outside for Menchville to contain Kecoughtan coast to coast.
Well, that's got to be incredibly demoralizing to a young team like Menchville to have the first play from scrimmage go all the way.
Well, I'm sure they were expecting Kecoughtan to go up the middle, run between the tackles, because that's what they do so well. They went outside and nobody was there for contain.
The try for extra point is no good, as I was looking away from
it was a bobbled snap from center, I think, and that was number 4, Marshall Haggard, smart enough to realize that maybe I can throw it in the end zone and somebody could get it.
So
and there's Marshall's dad.
Speaking of
Haggard, that's Jimmy in the middle of a picture.
So on the first play from scrimmage, the Kecoughtan Warriors, Carlton Morant races 67 yards to make it 6-0. Here's the replay, and you
Watch
can
his
see
stiff arm, Tim. Right here, he does a great job, just stiff arms, pushes the guy right out of the way.
So Morant makes it 6-0. Kecoughtan early. I'm trying to find out. Morant, for 3 games, has rushed a total of 31 times for 155 yards. So he's averaging a little better than 50 yards per game, and that will certainly keep his average with a 67-yarder on the first carry. So now the Kecoughtan Warriors will kick off. Doing the kicking was Brian Smith, number 10 for the Warriors. 11:38. Started to tell you there's 12-minute quarters, and before I could get the words out of my mouth, we had a touchdown. Fair catch called for and taken at the 29-yard line. One of the up men on the relatively short kick decided to fair catch it. That was number 48. 48, excuse me. 48. You try that one.
Ione.
Tailioto Ione. There we go. All right, on defense now. Hicks and Davis are the tackles. Brown and Budden are the ends. The inside linebackers are Tillery and Mann. And I don't think we ever finished the lineup the last time around.
We'll get the rest of the offense the next time they're on.
Pitch. They'll try the same play. Pitch turned the corner, and it was Bobby Stabler, number 4, carrying. The rest of the defenders, Mills and Hart, are the other linebackers. The corners are Quillen and McGinnis, and Kiko Richmond is the safety for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Gain on that play of about 7. Second down and 3. Here's the Monarchs on offense. The center is Williams. Holcraft and Reed are the guards. Blunt and French are the tackles, and we'll give you the rest of that lineup after this next play. Second and 3. Scoreboard says second and 63. I don't think so. In the middle of the pile, not much happening for Bobby Stabler on his second carry. Here's the rest of the team. The tight end is Weeks. The split end is Marble. The wideout is Walker. Booth is the fullback. The tailback is Stabler. And DeMarcus McMillan is the quarterback for Tom Jacobs. How do you do that? Team. Jacob team. But how do you make it plural? You have to put an S on it, right? Tom Jacobs team.
Yeah, you got to put it when you say it's his team. Then it becomes possessive.
The point we're trying to make is his name is Jacob. And, of course, I'm sure a lot of people put an S on the end of his name inadvertently. And not much happening in the middle of that lineup. They needed 1.5 yards, maybe 2 for the first down, and apparently have come up short.
It depends on the spot, but I don't think he got to the had to get almost to the 40, Tim, and they're a good half yard short.
And it's 4th down. So the Monarchs will be forced to bring on the kicking team. Morant is back deep. The kick, and again the kick is punted by Belote. And Morant, falling forward, makes the fair catch at the 32-yard line. So that's where the Warriors will have it. They'll check that 31-yard line. They'll mark it.
And now we can, Bobby, give you the offense and the defense.
See if we can finish the offensive lineup. We were going to give it to you on the second play from scrimmage. We didn't have a second play. There we go. Tight end is Brown. The split end is Dunlap. Haggard is the flanker. Forte is the fullback. Morant the tailback. And Jovan Quillen is the quarterback. That was a 38-yard punt with no return by the Warriors. Inside trap play goes to number 20 for the Kecoughtan Warriors. That is Chuck Forte. He is just a sophomore. Here's the defense for the Monarchs. Reed and Lawson are the tackles. The ends are Studwell and Ione. Avey is the middle linebacker. The rest of the linebackers are Spencer and Blunt. Booth and Jones are the corners. Another Booth, Jason Booth, is the strong safety, and the free safety is Hosh Weeks. Second down and about 5. Morant, same play he scored on. This time he gets pushed out of bounds, but he gets the first down for the Warriors at the Kecoughtan 45-yard line.
Well, Kecoughtan's doing a good job of locking up on the defenders and not letting them get outside. This young man, Kente Blunt, for the Menchville Monarchs, Tim, is a young man that has played. He's number 59. He has played fullback, and they put him in the line because they needed some people, and he went wherever the coach said to go. He decided he would do that.
Morant now 2 carries for 77 yards in the ball game, and this is Forte again carrying close to a 10-yard pickup, depending on where they mark it. Looks like it'll be about 9 yards, just shy of a first down, so it'll be second and short with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Well, that was a trap to the opposite side that time. Good blocking on that line of scrimmage, and this is one thing that the Kecoughtan had trouble with against Hampton was that offensive line.
That was Forte's second carry. He has 13 yards here in the early going. Quarterback keeper for the first down, and with a lot of second and third effort, it would appear that the Warriors will get a fresh set of downs, and they do.
You didn't see that, but that ball squirted out of his hands and hit Quillen in the chest, and he got it back. I mean, that was a dangerous play. You don't think a quarterback sneak can be dangerous, but he almost lost the ball.
Just across the Monarch 45-yard line for the first down by just the length of the ball. But a fresh set of downs for the Warriors. Jovan Quillen pitches to Morant, the tailback, tries to turn the left end and will not get around the corner. It picks up about 3 down to the 42-yard line of Menchville. Just a gorgeous night for football out here. The fans, most of them wearing light sweaters or jackets. There's no threat of rain and no wind. It's just ideal. And again, we encourage you to come on out and support your favorite team. Want you to watch it here on Channel 5, but come on out and see the games in person.
And then you could probably see yourself on TV.
If you're unlucky enough.
Unlucky. I've talked about our fans that way, not Tim.
Second down and 7. First pass of the game, and that's Dunlap making the grab, but went to the knee. And of course, in high school ball, once you touch the ground with your knee, whether you're done so by an opponent or yourself, you're down.
One thing that I've noticed with the Monarchs so far is Weeks and the safeties have been coming up making the tackles, and you want your tackles to be made by your interior linemen and your linebackers.
Third down and 7. On the option, the pitch to Morant. Morant tries to turn the corner, dragged down from behind on a fine defensive effort. Looked like Kent Blunt, number 59, making the stop.
Kente Blunt. Good job. He's the young man I was talking about that was at fullback, so he's got some speed.
He showed it that time as he dragged Morant down from behind. Here's your replay, and you'll see him come up and make a nice tackle, preventing Morant from turning the corner and getting big yardage. Instead now it's 4th down, and the Warriors are going for it with 4th and 5. Need to get inside the 35-yard line of the Monarchs. Hard count. And Quillen says, whoops, didn't work.
But they almost pulled him off, but not quite.
That's the old hard count by the quarterback in an effort to get an encroachment call. And, of course, if you don't get that motion, then you call timeout and reconsider whether you'll do the 4th down and 5 or kick the ball. I'm still of the mind that they'll probably go ahead and go for it.
Well, they're very successful, especially on the outside, but even their inside traps, Tim, have picked up a good yardage. But when you're running against a team that's expecting an inside punch, you're not going to get it. So I look for them maybe to fake inside and go outside, or even go out with the option, but come this side, go away from Kente Blunt, because that young man showed he's got some speed and can run down a defensive back.
That offensive back. Catch a while ago by Dunlap was just his 4th of the season, but he had, coming into this game, 3 catches for 108 yards, averaging better than 35 yards per reception. Here's the option, and it looks like Quillen will keep it, and he will get more than up for the first down. Dropped the ball, picked it back up, and may go all the way. A late flag comes down. An inconsequential flag as far as the actual play is concerned, but it may have a big role in whether or not this play stands.
When things go right, they go right. He dropped that ball and it bounced right back up into his hands.
Just like he had it on a string. However, A clipping call against Kecoughtan will negate the touchdown. So the fine effort by Jovan Quillen here. You'll see it on the replay.
Tim, I think it was a run all the way. I really don't think there was.
You're talking about fortuitous bounce, I believe is what they call that.
I don't think he ever had an intention of throwing the ball. He looked like he was going to, and that does no more.
Had a clip on the offense, but after the measurement still resulted in a first down for the offense. Snap.
All right, so Carter Ficklin, if I heard him correctly, said it was after the play was over, actually. And so what they've gotten is a first down out of the play inside the 30 at the 28-yard line.
Oh, that's another.
Almost had a problem again. This is Morant as he tries the left side of the line. And over there to make the stop was that same number 59 for the Monarchs. The young man we were talking about, Kente Blunt, and 55 was there as well, Leon Reed, to stop Morant for no gain.
Well, Reed's playing the tackle, and Kente Blunt plays that outside linebacker.
Now we have an official's timeout. We've got some equipment problem or something, and the player with the problem will be taken off the field to be attended to or replaced. He will, in fact, come out. That's 52 for Kecoughtan. That is David Budden. Morant now 5 carries in the first quarter for 82 yards. And we want to thank Bob Killen for providing us with instant stats. We're
going to call him Instant Killen?
Mr. Instant Stat or something like that.
We have a lot of things come up with a better name than that, couldn't we?
Well, now the Warriors will take a timeout as apparently some confusion perhaps on the sideline, and they will take their second of the quarter.
Well, we got this break. Let me introduce the coaches for the Menchville Monarchs. Ton Jacob is the head coach. The assistant coach, Robert Booth, Ryan Furby, Earl Hester, Greg Lewis, and Richard Lusk. For the Kecoughtan Warriors, of course, the head coach is Kurt Newsom, assisted by Revis Conrad, Brian Hebert, John Quillen, Al Morrow, Jason Robinson, Dan Thompson, Scott Woodleaf. Becky Younger is the trainer.
Also want to make mention of the fact that, of course, this game played on the 3rd of October, 1997. Next Friday night, we will be here for the annual battle between Bethel and Hampton. And then after that, we'll have Woodside and Phoebus on the 17th, Bethel and Kecoughtan in what could be a huge game for postseason implications on the 24th of October. But a lot of games coming up Friday night and some Saturday night games. Make plans to come on out with the family. It is a family affair. It's very inexpensive, and you'll enjoy yourself. It's a lot of fun. 5:36 left in the first quarter. Kecoughtan on the Menchville 28-yard line. Second down and 10. The pitch. This is Palmer, and Palmer may score. He will. Antonio Palmer took the pitch and scooted right up the middle for a 28-yard touchdown run.
Well, that young man, Tim, is 5'8", 150, just a junior, but he showed some speed and open field running as he dodged a couple of backs. But there's just poor tackling on the side of the Menchville Monarchs right now.
So the Warriors now lead by the score of 12-0. And again, we've got a substitution confusion. It's already cost them one timeout, and if they don't hurry, they'll have to use another, and now they will in fact burn their third and final timeout of the first half. So there was apparent confusion about who should be on the field to try the extra point. And usually by the fourth or third game of the season, you've got those things kind of ironed out.
Yeah,
they can happen anytime.
That's really going to make Kurt mad, is you shouldn't have to burn a timeout to try an extra point. And you're right, they've used the one trying to draw them offside, use another one later on, and then here, it's not even the end of the first quarter. We're a little more than halfway through it. They have no timeouts left to go in this half.
The Kecoughtan Warriors, in their quest for postseason play, of course, that loss to Hampton was a tough pill to swallow in the first game of the season, but they have come back rather strongly since then and have got off to a good start here with a 12-0 lead, trying to add to that. And with a timeout here, they'll apparently go for 2, having missed their first attempt on a bobbled snap from center. So Quillen at quarterback will have Dunlap spread wide to the right, just in the corner of the right-hand side of your screen. And they give this time to Forte, and he is short of the goal line as a good defensive surge by the left side of the defensive line for the Monarchs prevents the 2-point conversion. So 5:28 remains in the first quarter, and very quickly Kecoughtan has gone up on top 12-0. And if you joined us a few minutes late as you watched the Kecoughtan Warriors, oh yeah, here's the replay of the Palmer touchdown, and again, nobody really got that close to him to tackle poorly. They just weren't there. He weaved his way around the defenders and virtually went untouched. So the Kecoughtan Warriors will kick it off again. This will be Brian Smith kicking.
And just a little side note, that's Coach Mike Smith's son.
Of the Hampton.
That's correct.
So Smith's kick is a deep kick, taken inside the 5 at about the 3. Up the middle, the Monarchs with Marcus Walker returning it out to the 20-yard line, just across the 20.
Brian has been kicking a little, like almost a little pooch kick, keeping it short. That time he drilled it clear down about the 3-yard line.
Yep, 57-yard kick and a 13-yard or 17-yard return, depending on whether I can read Bob's writing or not.
You're trying to say it's instant, but you can't read it.
It's my eyes. It's my problem. I don't have my glasses on, and that makes it.
Well, just tell him to write bigger.
Right, huge. All right, the Monarchs now trying to get back in this game. As a little more than half of the first quarter has expired, and Kecoughtan has scored twice. It's hard to say if you joined us a few minutes late on the very first play from scrimmage. Carlton Morant went 67 yards for a touchdown. And now we've got a penalty flag down before they get this play away, so we're kind of off to a slow start here after a rapid start. Carter Ficklin showing you, and hopefully will now tell you.
Dead ball penalty, false start on the offensive interior line. Still first down.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ficklin. Still first down, but it's 1st and 15 for the Monarchs. This is our second intra-city contest for you here on Channel 5, and nothing happening on the left side of the offensive line, or if you will, the Kecoughtan right-hand side, as Bobby Stabler is stopped short of the line of scrimmage.
Marlon Hicks and Purvis Tillery in on the tackle, two young ball players. Marlon, of course,
here's your replay.
As we watch the replay, has been a standout at Kecoughtan for 3 years or more. And Purvis Tillery, 9th grader last year, played very well in spots and is now a starter.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 16 for Menchville. There you see it from the ground camera. And a high snap over the head of the quarterback. He will simply try to complete the pass. It's incomplete, well over the head of the intended receiver, but he did well to avoid a safety and or a touchdown.
Well, you know, there's more than one way to get those 2 points, so you have 14, right? That's another way.
That's right. Somewhat unconventional.
That's the point, 2-point conversion you don't practice on much, but he was smart to get rid of that ball, but that was from a shotgun, and the center just flat threw that ball way over his head.
Guarantee you, quarterback went back to the huddle. He said, let's get that one down just a little bit. And now, no time to throw, as going back, DeMarcus McMillan never had a chance. He is sacked and he is shaken up. He is slow to get up at the 11-yard line. He'll be coming off the field in favor of the punting team.
Well, that was Greg McLaurin and Stafford Brown, 72 and 82, that just met in the backfield right at the quarterback.
You saw the replay, a loss of 3 on the play, and it brings up 4th down as Menchville steadily going in the wrong direction, and now they've got to call a timeout because of further confusion.
They're one guy short, and nobody was in front of this tackle over there. He had a straight shot to the kicker.
Yeah.
The kicker said pointing and said, "Oh, we got to call timeout."
And I think
self-preservation.
That will be probably a really good timeout used to avoid a blocked punt and potentially a touchdown or something of that nature. So both teams a little bit, I don't want to be too critical, but ragged. There's you go. Kecoughtan not nearly as ragged as Menchville at this point, but some confusion on both sides of the ball, and they'll get it ironed out. So Menchville uses their first timeout. They have 2 remaining. Menchville in the first quarter, 5 carries for a total of 4 yards, and they have yet to complete a pass. So their total offensive output here early is less than 10 yards, right at 5 yards for the first quarter, and we have 4:04 remaining. Belote will try, gets a bad snap, and it just gets it away. Fielded at the 42-yard line by Morant. Morant gets away from one would-be tackler and then finally is pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line. A couple of yards on the return, and Kecoughtan will have real good field position for their 3rd possession. That was just a 30-yard punt by Belote, and quite frankly, he was lucky because it was a short snap from center. They've had some problems. I don't know whether he's a young man that's just not used to playing that position currently, but twice on that series, some problems with the snap from center. First down and 10 for the Kecoughtan Warriors, leading 12-0. Joe Van Quillen, split backfield, wants to throw, goes up for Dunlap. Lapp is there, and he's got a touchdown. 36 yards.
Quillen just threw the ball up. Dunlap run right underneath it. You can't draw it up on a board any better than that.
So as I mentioned, that opening play resulting in a touchdown could be devastating to a young team like Menchville. And there you see the band. Not the name we usually attribute to those guys. Extra point attempt is up, and this one is successful. So with that extra point,
that's Tunstall, wasn't it?
Tunstall makes it 19-0, and we've still got 3:50 remaining in the first quarter. Dunlap has 3 touchdowns. Here's your replay. Starting to tell you Dunlap on the season with 3 touchdowns. Quillen just laid that in there beautifully, and Dunlap ran under it for the score.
I don't think the defensive man, Tim, ever saw the ball until it was coming down, and it was too late at that point.
Never really had a chance.
As talk about Coach Mike Smith there, he's in the stands, him and his lovely wife watching their son Ryan play tonight.
Hampton is off this week.
They've got to, and see, they're really hurt because they couldn't get their 10th game, so they really have 2 byes during the season.
In the first quarter now, Kecoughtan 10 carries for 134 yards and 1 of 1 passing. Of course, that was the touchdown we just saw for 36. So the Warriors in the first quarter alone with almost 200 yards, and we've still got 3:50 to play. The big play has really hurt the Monarchs early. And again, Marcus Walker getting a lot of special team time tonight.
I tell you, Tim, I'm impressed with Kecoughtan special teams. They're kicking that ball down about the 3 or 4 yard line, and they're only getting about 20 yards on a run back.
So Menchville now desperately in need of getting something underway. A 56-yard kick with a 19-yard return for the Monarchs. You're absolutely right. They're getting a nice foot in, and there's no wind assisting any of those kicks either. McMillan on the quarterback keeper. Option play with a quarterback keeping for about 6 yards. Pretty good looking play for the Monarchs.
But that was Purvis Tillery on the tackle that time. The only play that Menchville has been successful on is going wide or going outside.
Bad news for the Monarchs as DeMarcus McMillan, their senior quarterback, is hobbled on that play. And he was shaken up the last time that the Monarchs had the ball. And he's going to have to come out as he is in obvious pain and discomfort. He is really having a hard time.
You see who that young lady is that works for Menchville?
No. Oh, I do know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Tanya.
Tanya.
There you saw the play that he was shaken up on. So, and the Tanya we're referring to is our former camera person, and the pitch again to Stabler from Robert Jones, a junior quarterback, filling in for the injured McMillan. And again, same results. They have had no success at all with that play going left. 3rd down and 8, a 2-yard gain on the play. Negligible, but a couple of yards nonetheless. And right now they're at -3. That's right, that was a 3-yard loss. I thought that was a loss in that play. Jones looking to throw, gets away from man, but will not get away from another Kecoughtan defender. That is Willie Sherman, number 81.
Wow. He just kind of hog-tied him.
He said, "Welcome to the Peninsula District, Robert Jones."
You
Here's
want
your
to play
replay.
Quarterback? Let me show you what happens when you play quarterback.
Got away from Keith
Watch
Mann,
this
but
tackle.
Willie Sherman.
Boom.
So Menchville definitely not headed in the right direction offensively. And now 4th down and 12. They'll have to kick. Belote will be back. They get a 11th man on the field just in time. And again, a relatively high snap. Belote's kick, not particularly long, but a good roll for the Monarchs as it will roll down to the Kecoughtan 41-yard line, where the Warriors will have it again, but leading 19-0. And it's still 1:47 left in the first quarter. 37-yard kick for Belote, and he has gotten more practice than he cares to have here in the first quarter.
Yeah, if you're a punter, you hope you don't have to get any work at all during a ball game.
From their 41-yard line, Quillen gives up the middle, and the gain is about 3 out to the 43-yard line. Belote now kicking has averaged 33.5 yards per kick on his 3 punts. Ball shy.
Excuse me, Tim. Leon Reed, one of the tackles on the front 4 of the Monarchs, was in on the stop that time, but they still picked up 3 yards.
On the option this time, and the ball is loose and is picked up by the Monarchs. So Menchville will get the ball on the turnover, the fumble on the toss from the quarterback. The option play did not run smoothly that time.
Well, that was Kente Blunt, number 59, almost picked the ball up and running. He's a former backfield fullback, so, you know, he would have loved to have been able to pick that up and not fall down. Big break for the Monarchs.
So the Monarchs, who have not been able to generate any offense, will have great field position at the Kecoughtan 30-yard line. Into the middle of the Kecoughtan line for a couple of yards. And again, the quarterback for Menchville continues to be Robert Jones, and he was not the starter. Let me look at the Kecoughtan, the Menchville roster here and see if Jones has had much experience. He did play and threw 1 pass in the first game of the season, threw 3 passes in the second game, and threw 5 passes in the third game. So he has seen some action. Now they have the fumble problem, and it looks like Kecoughtan has recovered. They have.
And that's Purvis Tillery.
So Purvis Tillery comes up with the loose ball. So the teams trade fumbles. And Kecoughtan will have it back at their 39-yard line.
Watch the replay, Tim. The worst thing that you can do is sometimes try to pick up the ball. At that point, you just want to go down and get the ball. That ball takes funny bounces.
That's why it's not round.
No, it's kind of oblong.
39-yard line. The Warriors have it again. Morant gets some blocks, tries to turn the right corner. And good pursuit by the Monarchs. Eventually get him after a couple of yards. Let's call it a 3-yard gain.
Jason Booth and Weeks combined to make the stop that time.
That will be the last play of the first quarter, as we're down to about 5 seconds to go, and don't see any chance for Kecoughtan to get this ball away before the quarter ends, and they will not. So after one quarter from Darling Stadium, it's been all Kecoughtan as they lead after the first 12 minutes by the score of 19-0 over the Menchville Monarchs. This quarter of the Game of the Week is made possible through the following. By Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Also by Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center. And by Zooms, join the Sub Club. Buy 4 and the 5th one is free.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Waukegan. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
Tim Cole and Bob Hintz, along with Bob Killen, back here at Darling Stadium. Second quarter getting set to get underway. The Warriors with the ball at their 42-yard line, leading 19-0 on the option. Morant gets the pitch and tries to turn the corner, loses the ball out of bounds at the 48-yard line. He was almost to the 50. And now we have a flag downfield as a couple of players got tangled up, and we'll wait and see how this one goes. The back judge explaining to Carter Ficklin what the penalty is about. That flag was a good 10, almost 15 yards downfield.
Yeah. Little tempers, perhaps.
Looks like we have offsetting personal foul calls against each team.
And it looked like the flag came out after the play was whistled dead.
So Carter Ficklin will discuss the situation with his team of officials, and hopefully in just a moment or two he'll tell us the call and the result. While we're waiting, we'll get some entertainment from the Kecoughtan High School band directly in front of us. Now they're going to do this 15 yards that way and then 15 yards this way thing.
After the play was over, had a dead ball personal foul against the offense, followed by a dead ball personal foul against the defense. It's now 3rd and 1.
So did they mark it off?
Yeah, but it came back right where they started.
Why bother to mark it off? Oh my goodness, 3rd down and a yard. They need to get to the 50. And they do, as Forte has the first down in Monarch territory. Down to the Monarch 47-yard line, a gain of better than 4 yards.
Weeks comes up and makes a stop. He's your safety. Well, you don't want your safeties making a lot of your tackles if you can help it, but they're your last line of defense.
First down at the Menchville 47-yard line. Second quarter just underway, and now again another officials timeout. And I'm not sure why, but we're set to go. Quillen wants to throw, throws in the hands and out of the hands of Marshall Haggard. That ball was right on the numbers. Bad spot, hit him right in the hands.
Well, you know, that's one of the cases where you're going to catch it and run at the same time, and you start to run before you really get your hands on the ball.
And you hear the little pitter-patter of not so small feet. So the incomplete pass makes a 2nd down and 10. Kecoughtan trying to improve to a 3-1 record, having lost the opening game to Hampton, but have come back with 2 strong victories and looking for their 3rd in a row. On the draw play, Morant across the 40 down to the Menchville 37-yard line. Very close to a 1st down, depending on the mark.
Yeah, I think they're. Looked like he got it.
Yeah, he did. So they don't even measure. They go ahead and mark the ball for a 1st down and move the chains. (19-0) in favor of Kecoughtan. 8 carries in the ball game now for Morant for 101 yards. And a touchdown. Inside handoff to Forte, and Forte is down to the Monarch 30. Gain of 7.
Again, Weeks on the stop. Your safety man. He was helped that time by Corey Spencer. Spencer plays one of the outside linebackers. Monarchs play a 4-3. They run 4 down linemen, a middle linebacker, and 2 outside linebackers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. But right now, Kecoughtan is doing a good job blocking against it.
Forte, 28 yards in the 1st half on 5 carries. This is the big fullback again, and he bulls his way down to the Monarch 23-yard line, and that'll be another 1st down.
Tim, that's just power football. Get the ball, get behind your big offensive line and your big backs, and go to it. Watch the replay. And then you pick up a couple yards after you get hit on your own.
He's a load. They mark it at the Monarch 24. 1st down for Kecoughtan. Jovan Quillen, short drop, throws, and Dunlap had to go right through his hands. Incomplete.
Talk about that load, that young Mr. Chuck Forte, sophomore, Tim, 6 foot 225. He is a load when he gets a little head of steam going.
Reminds me a little bit of the way he's built with the, remember Chuck Foreman of the Minnesota Vikings fame? Big thighs, big strong running back.
Just looks powerful.
2nd and 10. On the option, Carlton Morant wants to turn the corner, gets away from one man, gets away from another, and gets down close to the 20-yard line.
And Weeks making the tackle. Again, your safety has to come up and make the tackle. They had Morant in the backfield for a loss or no gain, and just could not wrap him up.
You see Kurt Newsom in the center of your screen, the head coach for...
Oh, you missed the front part of it. See, I got the word that his Kurt was with a K. And so we're down there doing a pregame, and I said, they said, well, how do you spell Kurt, with a C or K? And I says K, and Kurt says C. I said, C. He said, yeah, I don't want to be mixed up with a guy in Germany.
Quillen on the rollout. Cuts it inside, is dumped at the 15-yard line, very close to a 1st down, but it would be about a half a yard short at this point. Need to get to the 14. It'll be check that 4th down and about a yard.
Well, that's the replay. And what was really funny about that is, I said, do you mind if it was misspelled? He says, no, because if I do something bad, I'll tell him it's the other guy, the other Kurt Volheimer, whoever. I don't know. Very nice coach, very likable young man. I don't think there's a coach in the peninsula that doesn't have good things to say about Kurt Newsom.
The Warriors, 4th and a yard, are going to go for it, or at least appear that they're going to do. And they hand to the fullback, Forte, and he's very close to the 1st down.
Well, it depends on where they spot that, Tim. Yep. He was hit by number 71.
I think he's going to be a little short.
It depends on that spot. You know, it looked like he fell forward, but Kellen says he's made it. Now, Eagle Eye. Oh.
Yeah, because that mark is apparent. I'm going to go out on Eagle Eye is going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to tell you it's about a half a ball length short. That's what it is. Actually, it was more like a ball length short.
Well, see, I can't depend on you anymore. You were off a half a ball.
Yeah, you saw the final part of the replay there. The spot was not a favorable spot if you're a Kecoughtan Warrior fan. So the Monarch defense doing what they had to do to make this game a game, and that was to come up big here on a 4th down and less than a yard. So the Monarchs will come up to the line of scrimmage, and again, Jones continues at quarterback as McMillan, shaken up a couple of series ago, has not been able to return, and the way he limped off the field, I'm not surprised. He was not doing well at the time.
I tell you, Hicks put a hit on that. I didn't see who the ball carrier was, but Marlon Hicks just lowered the boom on him. And you're talking about a guy that's 6'3", 270, and is a Division I prospect. Young man can play anywhere.
Yeah, we've got a player whose number we can't identify. Number 31 for the Monarchs.
What number?
Number 31. Don't have. We got a 32. Maybe he's the same.
Well, that
Robert
may be
Booth.
the one. That's Robert Booth.
Yeah,
I don't know if
he
we got
looks to be about the same size, but he's relatively small, 5'6".
Offensive line, still 2nd down.
So penalty while we were discussing the players.
One of the offensive linemen stood up before the ball was snapped, and you can't do that.
Jones throwing, completes the pass, and picking up good yardage near a 1st down is number 14, Marcus Walker.
Well, that was a good run by Walker to pick up that 1st down. I didn't think he would be able to do it, but what a nice move. He's only 5'9", 140, Tim. He's not a very big kid out there.
And he did get the 1st down at the 25-yard line. So the Monarchs, who have not seen a lot of 1st downs, in fact, I'm trying to recall when they've had a 1st down.
That's their first.
Might be. 7:48 remains in the half. And a fumble. The ball is knocked loose from the quarterback, Jones, and Kecoughtan has recovered. Looks like, I'm not certain of this, but I think it was 22, yes. Sean McGinnis.
You're right.
Here's your replay. Let's see if we can pick it up.
And he gets hit right here. Boom. Great job for the lineman there, and I didn't get the number of that lineman.
Well, I think that was
that ball.
I think that was Kenneth Charity, number 86, that might have jarred the ball loose. In any event, the Warriors, leading 19-0, get it back at the Monarch 29-yard line with 7:40 remaining in the 1st half.
Well, if that was Kenneth Charity, I coached his dad along with Purvis Tillery's dad.
The pass intended on the near sideline for Willie Sherman, but it was way off the mark, as it appeared to perhaps the quarterback and Sherman were on a different play.
Yeah, I think he was running it out instead of a down to the corner route.
Kecoughtan one of 4 in the passing department so far, or was that 1 of 5? Bob? Second down and 10 for the Warriors. Willett pitches to Morant. Morant gets across the 20 and apparently a 1st down at about the 17-yard line. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of this 1st half after this brief timeout. Nothing happening on the inside at the 20-yard line as a sandwich play was there to meet Morant.
Well, that was Thomas Avey and Ione. And I'm not attempting that.
Tatalian, I think.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I would massacre that name if I tried it.
Saw the ambulance there. I don't know whether they're taking McMillan, but they're getting the stretcher out for somebody. This is Palmer. Palmer has been used sparingly in the first quarter, but effectively, if you consider his 28-yard rush for the touchdown. Spencer in on the stop for the Monarchs, but not before Palmer picks up good yardage. Here's the replay, Antonio Palmer, and he is very elusive. Apparently, the Monarchs having a hard time getting a hold of him. This is the big fullback Forte, and he bulls his way into the line for a couple of yards down to about the 9-yard line. It'll be about a yard and a half short of the first.
Tim, to tell you the difference between these two teams, now Kecoughtan's got a bigger roster, understand that, but they only have 8 players on Menchville that weigh in the excess of 200 pounds. Kecoughtan has 22, and 2 or 3 of those are 300-pounders.
It's a sad thing because Menchville has a good-sized group of players or students to draw from.
Yeah, they got 2,100.
Forte gets a first and goal inside the 5 for the Warriors with 5:06 left in the first half.
This carry is shooting out for a 6-man first down. Will be first and goal for the Warriors ball inside the Monarch.
The Monarch player is being attended to on the far sideline, and I don't know whether that is DeMarcus McMillan.
I'll try to pick it up.
They have brought out a stretcher, so hopefully it's nothing serious, but it looks like it may be the end of the evening for that ball player at least. On a good second effort, touchdown.
That's number 5, Tillery.
Tillery with the 4-yard touchdown. Number 5, Purvis Tillery.
He was not going to be denied, was he?
No, an excellent second and third effort coming at 4:37 to go in the half. So Kecoughtan adds to their score. They lead. There you see the players and others huddled around the player being attended to. Mark Tunstall will try the extra point. And it's up, and it's right through the uprights. So the Warriors extend that lead to 26-0. And they extend the miseries of the
great
Monarchs.
second effort.
Yeah, that was an excellent effort on his part. As you said, Purvis Tillery not to be denied. Let's see what Mr. Tillery has previously done.
Yeah, because he's normally been playing, he plays the linebacker and is noted for his defensive work. Have you got him any carries?
Well, Mr. Keach keeps me totally informed, if I can say that with a straight face. Purvis Tillery, prior to this, had carried the ball 3 times in their last game against Heritage for a total of 21 yards, but that is his first touchdown of the season, and I'm sure he's an excited young man to have done that. So the Warriors, Purvis Tillery, and a flag, probably an offsides call against Kecoughtan. Looks like somebody went across the line before the ball.
Got a dead ball penalty, encroachment on the team. Kickoff will be repeated 5 yards further upfield.
O'Brien kicked that ball so close down the ground, he sent the kicking tee about 20 yards down the field. Kicking tee went as far as the ball did that time.
Well, the news for Menchville is not good, as apparently McMillan, the starting quarterback, is the young man who has been put in the ambulance. We saw him limping off the field a couple of series ago, and apparently will go to the hospital for some additional attention. So sorry to see that is the case. And of course, Menchville already behind 26-0. Things are not getting any better for them. Kick is taken inside the 30. Still running to the near side, and a good effort by number 3, Jason Booth.
And we got a flag come flying in. Usually that means illegal block or clipping or something.
And that's the call. So you might have been able to pick up the audio from referee Carter Ficklin. A clipping call against the offense on the run back. So they'll mark off the major penalty against the Monarchs.
During the run back, there was a clip by the receiving team. First down.
So Menchville from their 23-yard line with 4:28 remaining. They have 2 timeouts remaining in the half. Kecoughtan has used all 3 of theirs. Marcus Walker spread wide to the left. And a handoff goes to Stabler. And Stabler, who has tried to run wide all this first half and has yet to succeed. He just can't get around that corner.
Kecoughtan does a good job of making you go east to west. They're not going to let you make that turn and go upside. They've got good team speed on defense. And if you're an offensive man, you're trying to get outside, you can only go so far and you're going to run out of yardage.
No gain on the play, as actually Stabler did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Pass is tipped at the line and is intercepted. The Warriors have picked it off. That is number 11, Brian Hart. The linebacker on that right side who had a tip drill, and the ball landed right in his hands for the INT.
But one of the interior linemen got his hands on a ball. Like it looked like Marlon Hicks.
51, is that who?
Yeah, that's
Marlon
Hicks.
Is? Yeah, I believe he did get the hand on it and it popped it up in the air. So Brian Hart, that's the 4th turnover by the Monarchs here in the first half, and they're killing the Monarchs right now. The offense is sputtering to begin with. You can hardly afford to give the ball back to this high-powered Kecoughtan offense. That same play they ran earlier, a straight run, and Quillen will get in for the touchdown. No, they say he stepped out at the half-yard line.
Was that close? Tim Otta had to give it to him. He looked good going for that. I give him 10 on that. Difficult to watch the replay.
You be the judge and see if you can tell whether or not he stepped out at the half-yard line. Well, we won't be able to tell from that angle, and the official right on top of the play.
But you almost have to give him E for effort. That was a great job by Jovan Quillen.
21 yards. He needed 21 and a half. This is Quillen, and he hands off, and easily in the end zone is Chuck Forte. Nobody even touched him. So Chuck Forte goes in from a half-yard out, and it makes the score now 32-0 as we haven't even gotten to halftime yet. Kecoughtan getting a lot of firepower. That is Forte. Came into this game with just 1 carry for 4 yards. That was in the game against Phoebus. Did not carry the ball last week against Heritage. Let's see if we can find out how many touchdowns Mr. Forte has. He had 3 coming into the game, so that'll be number 4. And here's your replay. And he was just untouched. He just snuck in on the right side and made it look easy. There you see.
Great job of opening up the hole over there. Just a nice little crease. Let him through. Untouched at the end zone. Chuck Forte.
So Kurt Newsom has to be pleased with what he has seen so far. 33-0 here at the 3:34 mark. Took just a minute and 3 seconds for Kecoughtan to score again after Purvis Tillery scored earlier.
Well, after we're going to pick up the Kecoughtan band during the halftime, and they will be shown at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast.
The Monarchs trying to get something shaking again, get some positive out of Jason Booth's return of the kickoff.
I was over at Phoebus during the week, and I had one of the young men come up and ask me, he says, don't you guys do the bands? I said, yes, we always do the bands at least one time during the year, and we show them at the end of the football contest. So, and that's what's going to happen tonight.
35-yard kickoff and a 17-yard return by Jason Booth. At the 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Monarchs. Robert Jones again at quarterback with McMillan on the way to the hospital. This is Stabler, and he crosses the 45, picks up about 3.
There's just not much room to be running against this dingy Kecoughtan defense. But I look for Kurt Newsom to do a lot of substitution in the second half, get a lot of young people to play that normally don't get to play in a game. Get them some experience.
Just to show you the frustration, Stabler has carried the ball 9 times for a total of 1 yard on offense for the Monarchs. The pass to Stabler is more successful as he has it at a first down. Let's check that, not 4, but rather that's number 1.
Weeks.
That's Hosh Weeks.
Tim, if the quarterback, that's not your starting quarterback, but did a great job of ball handling. Watch this. Nice fake there. And then a nice pass and catch.
That was about their best looking offensive play.
I was going to say that's very positive. You're right.
First half, yep. It is a first down, just the second of the ball game, I believe, for the Monarchs. Jones wants to throw, has a man well covered, and an interception is out of bounds. I believe they'll rule that he was out, and that is, in fact, the call. Quillen was the young man for Kecoughtan who picked it off, but came down out of bounds.
Well, that young man was double covered over there.
Here's your replay. You can see for yourself. It was either needed to be thrown out of bounds or they were going to be intercepted. As it worked out, the best thing for the Monarchs that could happen under those circumstances did in fact occur. Stops the clock with 2:18 to go in the half.
That was a good pass, a good, right on the money, but you had 2 Kecoughtan Warriors over there defending it.
The pitch to Stabler, and Stabler again tries to turn the corner and gets a couple of yards as he is stopped by Keith Mann, number 3.
We got a flag, Tim.
And a flag down. I got to give Mr. Mann a nickname here. We'll call him Hitman.
Hitman, yes, sir.
As he does hit you. We've seen him now in both of the Kecoughtan, actually all 3 Kecoughtan contests, as we've had the good fortune of seeing these Warriors.
Holding on the offense, a penalty enforced 10 yards from the flag, repeat second down.
So when things are not going well,
when it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So we saw Hampton and Kecoughtan, then we saw Phoebus and Kecoughtan, and now Monarchs. This is the 3rd time we've seen Kecoughtan, and they've played pretty well each time. On the play action, Jones still has the ball, flagged down in the backfield.
That's got to be holding.
Ooh, someone really got leveled on the far sideline there by the block.
69 had the guy wrapped up on 2 different occasions.
There is a flag on the play.
Holding, offense, 69.
You know, it's a shame, but we can hear him, because of the lack of fans, we could hear the referee without the mic.
Holding against the offense. Penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
Penalty is against the Menchville Monarchs for holding. Penalty is declined.
So they take the play.
3rd down, the ball resting on the
3rd down and 20.
Yeah, because he didn't have the mic on, and we were still picking him up.
Clock moving now down to about a minute and a half to go in a half I'm sure the Monarchs would like to forget. Jones almost had it picked off, but it's completed. And again, this is Walker. Walker across the 35.
That's 4. We're short. Timeout.
So Walker gets good yardage on the play, a gain of about 14 or almost 15 on the play.
Well, he did a good job after he catching the ball is picking up and trying to avoid some tacklers. Picked up maybe a few more yards after the catch. Watch the replay here. Just a nice little juke there to get around with the tackler. And then Jovan Quillen said, that's as far as you're going.
Monarchs called their second timeout. They have one remaining with 1:17 to go in the half. For Marcus Walker, he has, coming into this contest, 9 catches for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Monarchs. So he's been a bright spot on the horizon for the Menchville team, Tom Jacobs' team. Again, I want to thank Mike Keach and all the fine writers over at the Daily Press for providing me with these team statistics. You can follow all the high school sports in the Daily Press. Menchville passing now 3 out of 6 with 1 interception, 46 yards in the first half.
Well, that's their only real positive that they've had. Their ground game is almost non-existent.
All 3 first downs have come via
got blood or broken. Okay, got your sub.
We have a equipment problem for the Warriors. Forte will come in, replacing
Purvis Tillery,
who had a helmet problem. And again, the officials always cognizant of the equipment. The need for safety is always present. Jones dropped back, throws incomplete. The intended receiver on that pattern, I believe it was Robert Booth.
he may not wanted to catch that ball.
No, that was one of those.
That was low, and if I'd have caught it, I'm going to get hit type of plays.
Kind of the old, what's that, the alligator arm play. And that was 4th down.
Can't reach it.
So the ball goes over to the Warriors on downs, as that had been a 4th down for the Monarchs, unable to convert.
Oh, nice stick that time. 22, and who's that big number, 71? 71 is Lawson, 22, Corey Spencer. That was one of the few times the Warriors have gained almost nothing on a running play.
We're inside of a minute to go in the first half. 33-0, all Kecoughtan here in the first 24 minutes of play. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Bob Killen coming to you from Darling Stadium. This is Chuck Forte, and he has running room. He is out of bounds inside Menchville territory at the 49-yard line. That'll serve 2 purposes. Gives you first down and stops the clock with the out-of-bounds play.
Right, and that's just a little trap play up the middle, and he's running that ball so well. Forte is, you're right, he does look a little bit like Chuck Foreman running that ball.
16 yards on that carry.
How many yards does he have total?
10 for 58. How's that for a quick response? Huh?
Oh, man.
I've got the abacus going like mad over here.
Instant killing.
This is Morant, and Morant gets away from what appeared to be a sure tackle and then ends up being tackled, but for a moment there was hope.
Yeah, he turned around and ran right into it. The guy had to tackle him.
That comes with 15 seconds to go in the quarter, and with no timeouts remaining, that very well was, and for all intents and purposes will be the last play. Morant, 13 carries for 119 yards, unless they hurry.
Now, Kurt is telling let it run out.
All right, so we have completed the first half here at Darling Stadium, and our score at halftime. Kecoughtan 33, Menchville nothing. We'll return to Darling Stadium in the third quarter of action after this brief timeout.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Poquoson. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
Channel 5 would like to thank the following corporate sponsors for their support of the second half of tonight's game. Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. They answer the phone, and there's never an overtime charge. By Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Also by Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center. By Zooms, home of the Bubba Club and the Sub Club.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
halftime, our score, Kecoughtan 33, Menchville nothing. In the first half, statistics for Menchville, 15 carries for just 2 yards, passed 7 attempts, completed 3 with 1 interception, 46 yards all total, and their total offense for the first half, 48 yards. The Monarchs fumbled the ball 3 times. They lost it once. They had just 2 first downs, both of those coming via the air, and they were penalized 5 times for 50 yards. Only bright spot was Robert Jones, who has had to come in and replace the injured DeMarcus McMillan at quarterback. He completed 3 of 6 passes for the 46 yards. For Kecoughtan, 31 carries for 252 yards.
Wow.
2 of 5 passing for 1 touchdown, total of 36 yards. Total offense in the first half, 288 yards for the Kecoughtan Warriors. They fumbled the ball twice. They lost 1. They registered 12 first downs, and they were penalized 3 times for 35 yards. Morant, the leading rusher, with 13 carries for 119 yards and 1 touchdown. And Chuck Forte, 10 carries, 58 yards, also a touchdown. And in the receiving department, Dunlap, the 1 grab for 36 yards, which was the touchdown. And Antonio Palmer, raced in for 28 yards for the other score.
And we want to remind the fans to stay tuned at the end of this game to watch the Kecoughtan band perform.
Kecoughtan's band, one of the best on the peninsula, so that'll be something for you band fans to watch at the end of this game. That was Marcus Walker on the return.
Field position sure has not been one of the good things for the Monarchs tonight. They have not been able to run that ball back from the deep kicks much past the 20-yard line, and then the short kicks right around the 30-35.
Robert Jones continues at the quarterback position. This is Stabler, and Stabler gets running room for the first time and picks up about 8 yards because he went north and south instead of east and west, and that's been the problem for the Monarchs here in the first half.
That very positive run that time on first down.
Gain of 8 on the play, 2nd down and a pair. Bobby Stabler, 5'8", 170-pound senior on that last carry. And this is Stabler again, and Stabler gets the first down and then some, as he is across the 35 to the 38, and a late flag comes down.
I'm trying to see who was involved in that flag. It's got to be against Menchville.
And it is, unfortunately for the Monarchs, a holding call against Menchville.
Well, that comes from the point of the infraction, or does it go back to the line of scrimmage? I guess it goes back to the line
Holding
of scrimmage.
against the offense, repeat 2nd down.
No, Tim, it doesn't. It just goes back. So they really only lost, about a yard on the play rather than picking up the first down.
Now that's, of course, big because they've only had 2 first downs.
Yeah.
So they lose.
None by the run.
Yeah, lose a first down on the penalty. It's 2nd down and about 3.5. Jones has some time and then decides to run, and quickly the defense is there to snuff that play.
Big number 72, Greg
Number 3, Hitman.
Well, and Hitman was there.
Yes, he was.
He's going to like that moniker.
3rd down and 5 for Menchville. Kecoughtan was totally dominant in the first half, leading 33-0. Less than 50 yards total offense for the Monarchs in the first half. This is Stabler, and he gets maybe a yard. It'll be 4th down and about 3 for the Monarchs. So they'll have to bring on the kicking team. That'll be Belote doing the punting, as he has had more than enough opportunities tonight.
And that really is a shame. That holding play cost them not only good field position, but also a first down up around the 40-yard line.
Carlton Morant back at his 45 to receive the punt. And Belote just gets it away as the Kecoughtan Warriors almost blocked that kick. And it'll be downed at the 45.5-yard line by the Menchville Monarchs, number 59, Kente Blunt, who wanted to make sure that it didn't bound backwards. So they mark it, in fact, at the 47-yard line. It'll be a first down, a 23-yard punt. And again, quite frankly, he was very fortunate to get it away, as there were a couple of Kecoughtan Warriors with a good chance to block it.
You had mentioned alligator arms. That was almost an alligator leg. He had almost pull it up and kick it almost straight up in the air, or it would have been blocked.
Jovan Quillen. And he gets to midfield, pickup of about 3.
Well, he got hit from behind by big number 78, Terrace Jones. They got him listed as 5'6", 222.
Now I call him Jovan. It's actually Jovan, is that right?
Jovan, that's correct.
I correct myself, and I apologize for that mispronunciation. Jovan Quillen, the quarterback.
That's right. His dad's down on the sideline. He'll come up here and get you if you're not right.
I won't be around long. I'm out of here. Second down and about 7. Fumble, and Monarchs have got the ball.
I don't think there was a good handoff on that. And Kente Blunt, young man that I've talked about quite a bit tonight, ended up with the ball. In fact, that's his second fumble recovery.
I believe so. Here you're going to see the replay. You're going to watch him. He and number 3, Jason Booth, battled forward simultaneously, but it did look like Block came up with it. In any event, the Monarchs get a break here. They've got the ball, good field position at their 47. Out of the I formation. And off to Stabler. Stabler's across midfield into Kecoughtan territory at the 49. Pickup of about 3.5, almost 4.
And he's just kind of trying to find, instead of trying to go right where the hole is, as he approaches the line, he's looking for the little crease, and he picked up a pretty good yardage for the Monarchs. They have not been real successful on the ground, and that was a good positive on first down for them.
At one point in the first half, Stabler had carried 9 times for a net gain of 1 yard. So he started to get some positive yardage here in the second half.
So that, anytime you get positive, that's better than what he had.
13 for 23 is his stat total now. And this is where they've had trouble, is trying to turn the corner. Stabler gets a little this time. He gets out to about the 46-yard line of Kecoughtan.
Well, he got around the corner that time, but I tell you, the Kecoughtan defense does a great job of stringing that option play out. Maybe picked up a couple 3 yards. It's tough to run laterally against a good pursuing defense like the Warriors got. Not only that, but they're pretty quick themselves on defense.
Third down and about 3 for the Monarchs. Jones, short drop, has Marcus Walker open. Yeah, Marcus Walker, number 14, and he fell down. He may have gotten the first down. It's going to be very close.
I tell you, he is so mad because he knows if he hadn't fallen down, he'd have got that yardage. But it's going to be close. They're going to. Now I'm going to ask you about as we watch the replay, ask you about your eagle eye now. You're going to have to pick this.
I think that they are about a half a yard short. It's a tough one because I'm having a hard angle to work with here. I think
no
he's just
excuses,
short.
Tim.
Just short. Not much, but just short. About a half a yard.
Yep, you're right on it. Good thing Killen told you.
No, Killen's over here eating peanuts. He didn't have anything.
That's what he's doing. And you had me thinking he was adding up things.
Well, he's using the peanuts for adding things up here.
He uses the peanuts like an abacus?
Like an abacus. Or a abacus. Either one of those, or one of those things.
That's right. Scotty said you have to do something when you run out of fingers and toes.
And now the officials are going to take a timeout and charge it to the Monarchs. So they are going to go for it, or at least appear that they're going to go for it. And they haven't changed the yard marker to 4th down. The scoreboard says it's 4th. No, they do. They just got the yard marker changed. 6:21 remaining in the third quarter. Kecoughtan scored all of their points in the first half. The first play from scrimmage, as a matter of fact, and I mentioned at the time, it's got to be terribly demoralizing for a young team, as you see some of the city officials in attendance for tonight, Mary Eason and others.
Eason sitting in there.
But the first play from scrimmage, Carlton Morant went 67 yards around the right end to make it 6-0. Then Palmer, about 5 minutes later, made it 12-0 on a 28-yard run. Then a pass to Howard Dunlap from 36 yards out, rounded out the scoring in the first quarter by making it 19-0. Then Purvis Tillery scored from 4 yards out, and Chuck Forte from 1 yard out. And at halftime, it was 33-0, and that's where we stand right now. 4th down and less than a yard for the Monarchs. On the quarterback keeper, and boy, I don't think he got it.
He didn't get anything. There was nothing. Nothing there.
If he got it, if he got back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
What he ran into was a wall.
And again, of course, that will require the officials to do that kind of math, but they look at it and they say, you're right.
There's no way. I don't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
No.
There was no movement on that offensive front. The front line of that Monarch offense did not.
No surge.
Yeah, had no surge at all. And you're going against Big Marlon Hicks and those other young men in there on defense.
Now the clock has started. When I thought the rule was that the clock did not start until the snap of the ball on a change of possession. But I guess I misunderstood that rule as clock is running inside of 6 minutes to go. And the handoff up the middle, a fumble, and the Monarchs have gotten it right back.
But that was a strip just as plain as a day. The guy could not get the tackle, so he grabbed the arm.
Now the Kecoughtan Warrior came up with the ball, but they said no, that was a change of possession after the Monarchs had recovered it. So Menchville gets another break as Kecoughtan is playing rather loosely here in the third quarter, to put it quite kindly, if you will. They've
got to carry the ball.
Had a couple of fumbles, and the Monarchs get it right back.
Probably have the ball with you.
Yeah, you can't get too lackadaisical out there.
From midfield, the Monarchs. Jones will take a short drop. Wants to throw, completes the pass at the 49-yard line. That is Marcus Walker. And Walker is driven out of bounds. Actually, he stays in bounds at the 47.
Well, I'm kind of impressed with Jones's arm that he's showing out there for the Menchville. That's a tough pass to throw, and he gets it there with a little zip on it.
About 4 yards on the play.
So the Monarchs pick up about, let's call it 4, 2nd down and 6. You see the time remaining, 4:53 in the third quarter. Kecoughtan on top, 33-0. Warriors show some stunt blitzes and nothing happening in the middle of that line. Just total stoppage of the run. There was nothing. Again, no surge from the offensive line.
Well, you got Marlon
back
Hicks.
To that size. You know, you're talking about the size difference.
Oh, you got Marlon Hicks and Terrence Davis in there. And Marlon is 270, and Davis is 278. Those are your two tackles right in there, right in front of the center. And then your two outside linebackers. They just really clog up that middle, or that middle linebackers.
Kecoughtan's defense has just been outstanding all game. Jones over the middle completes the pass. This is Booth, and he is at the 40, right at the first down marker. Let's see how they mark this ball. This will be crucial.
Well, Tim, he was over the 40 and then came back trying to pick up some additional yardage.
But he still got the first down. Here's your replay. There you see he was over the 40 and just got the nose of the ball on the 40. Good mark from the official, and that's where they had to have it for the first.
He was actually at the 38 when he first caught the ball.
And again, that's a high school move that you see the pros do that same thing. They're heavily criticized when they do, but the pros should know better, but even they do that. Once you've got a first down, stay there. Don't try to get that extra yardage.
Right.
Especially when your team's only got 2 first downs all night.
Well, that time the pocket kind of collapsed on Jones, and he took off. He looked like he had some running room, and boom, he ran into Budden and Hicks. Those two guys you don't want to meet in an alley.
No. So loss of a couple, 2nd down and a dozen. Double wide receivers to the near side. That is Walker and Booth. I formation. Jones, long count on the option. And a crack back block and nothing else.
Tillery did a great job outside contained man that time. Number 5, Purvis Tillery, just a sophomore.
Bobby Stabler, the running back, lost another couple of yards. So now it's going to be 3rd down and almost 14 to go after the 2-yard loss on the play. And again, they just can't turn that right side. They have tried to go to the right, and the defensive left side of Kecoughtan has just totally shut down that sweep. So 2:19 to go in the 3rd. No score here in the 3rd quarter. $33-0 in favor of Kecoughtan. All of their points came in the first half. Downfield, it is caught.
Oh, man, what a job.
Outfought the defender for the ball. That is number 3, Jason Booth. And Booth gets the touchdown from 44 yards out.
44-yard touchdown reception. Robert Jones to Jason Booth.
He just simply fought and took the ball away from the defender.
The defender actually had better position than the receiver that time.
So the Monarchs get a touchdown. And again, it goes back to that, not even a theory, it's just fact. If you turn the ball over 4 times or 5 times, you're going to eventually give up some points.
Yeah, I think if Kurt Newsom has got any concern, it's right now hanging on to the ball.
On the 2-point option. And did he get in? No, they say he did not cross the goal line. So a very close play. But with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, the Monarchs get in the score column. Here's your replay.
This is that pass, and watch him just outfight the defender for it. The defender really had better position.
So Jason Booth with the touchdown for the Monarchs.
And not a bad throw by Jones.
No, Jones has looked quite good, actually. You know, having to come in and fill in for the starter, that's not always easy to do. That is the...
Well, and you know, during the week, you're not going to get as many snaps from center as your starter is. So
that's the 5th touchdown of the season for Jason Booth. So he has been the big positive for the Monarchs here. So Kecoughtan now will, of course, be somewhat weary of an onside attempt. Looks like the Monarchs might be lining up for such a thing. You're down 33-6. Why not?
Yeah, well, if you kick it deep, they may run it back on you.
Jones has 103 yards passing here in the ball game, coming off the bench to replace the injured DeMarcus McMillan. It's been a good evening for this junior quarterback. Onside kick attempt is taken by one of the up men, not quite at the 10-yard mark. So that will give the ball to Kecoughtan at the 49-yard line.
Aaron St. John was a young man that down that ball. Just fall on it. Don't try to run it if you're a lineman.
You know in their minds they want to. They want to see that glory of running to the end zone.
Want to be able to, in your mind's eye, I outran everybody.
So the Warriors now with the ball at the 49-yard line of Menchville. And now we've got some confusion and a timeout called by the Warriors. That'll be their 2nd of 3 in the half.
First timeout of the 2nd half.
Whereas actually that's their 1st of 3 that they've called, so they still have 2 remaining.
Killen's still eating those nuts over there?
I'm not talking. But he said they cancel out with a Diet Coke.
I'm trying to get him to smile. He won't smile. Peanuts keep falling out of his mouth.
That's a picture I wasn't really wanting to hear.
You could do without that.
More information than I need.
There you go.
There's see some of the Kecoughtan Warriors fans, students, parents, and youngsters alike. Next Friday night, the big battle, the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton Crabbers, right here at Darling Stadium, the 10th of October.
I'll tell you, you know, Hampton's going to be up for that game. You have a bye. You just kind of get antsy. You want to play every week you can.
Again. Oh, wait. Let me move on.
All right, we're back to the action now. Pass downfield for Dunlap. He's got it at the 15, down to the 13. So the 49-yard line was the line of scrimmage, and the gain all the way down 33 yards to the 13-yard line.
Here's a replay of that.
Howard Dunlap on the receiving end.
Well, we just got to see the end of it.
Well, we'll try and get another look at it. As we might have time here. We'll get Bev to crank that machine back up. We're going to talk about our crew here in a moment. And say nice things, too.
Is that right?
That's the initial plan. This is Carlton Morant as he pushes the scrum to about the 8-yard line.
And we got a Menchville young man that's hurt in the backfield. Looks like he's going to be able to walk it off.
Got a man shaking up who's slow to get up for the Monarchs. That is 22. Corey Spencer. Gain of 5 for Kecoughtan. Second down and 5. We've got a couple of Monarchs coming off hobbled, and with that small squad, you cannot afford to lose any players. This is Forte, and Forte will score. 8 yards out. Chuck Forte with his second touchdown of the evening. So that comes with just 21 seconds remaining in the third. As Kecoughtan gets their first points of the second half. Mark Tunstall will try the extra point for Kecoughtan. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Warriors make it 40-6. Here is your replay. From the ground level, very similar to the touchdown he had a little while ago. Just
one guy had a shot at him and only one.
So Chuck Forte has 2 touchdowns on the evening, and see if I can find out what that gives him for the season. That's 5 on the season. He had 3 coming into this contest.
I've been looking for you. I've been trying to contact you guys today. Yeah.
13 carries for Forte, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So another name to consider for our player of the game.
Well, I tell you, we got a ton of them for both teams tonight.
And boys and girls, I need y'all there to cover that. Get down. Already called Scott. Got an answer sheet.
Just campaigning down on the sideline. It's not like Ron's mic was open.
Yeah, he do a little campaigning.
Ball returned by number 32, Robert Booth. Well, I guess I've been calling 31 Booth, so I'm not sure who 31 is. We have a number 31 for Monarchs. We're not sure who that is.
Well, I don't have a 45 for the Monarchs, so he was one of the young men that limped off a minute ago.
So the Monarchs get it back at their 37-yard line, trailing 40-6, and that will end the third quarter as they will not get a play off before the conclusion. So we have played 3 quarters here at Darling Stadium on the 3rd of October, 1997, and our score after 3, Kecoughtan 40, Menchville 6. The fourth quarter of the Channel 5 Game of the Week is brought to you through sponsorship of the following. Zoom's, home of the Bubba Club and the Sub Club, where you buy the 4th and the 5th one is free. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Also by Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
And by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Call Mark or Kenny. They service and install most brands.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Poquoson. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
Well, we've put 3 in the books. It's been all Kecoughtan with the one exception of the touchdown a little while ago where the receiver just out-muscled the defender on the play for Menchville. But it's 40-6 as we start the fourth quarter. Robert Jones, the junior quarterback, in replacement for DeMarcus McMillan, fumbles the ball. Had it stripped, and at this point they've still given no indication of a change of possession, so I would say it belongs to Menchville. It does.
The number 4 came up with it for the Monarchs, Bobby Stabler.
Big Marlon Hicks up off the turf there after he was after that ball.
That looks like, what, about a 10-yard loss?
Second down and 20. Jones wants to go long, and there's contact. Flag goes down, but the ball was uncatchable, and I'll be curious to see if they call a penalty.
Well, there was definitely some contact over there on the sideline.
But the ball was out of bounds, and it was never in a position where it could have been caught, so I don't know whether there's a catchable clause in high school ball or not. Interference is the call against Kecoughtan, so apparently that will be the penalty.
Well, that's not going to give you a first down. That's going to only give you, well, wait a second, is that automatic first down?
Carter Ficklin will tell us.
Yeah.
Pass interference against the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
It is automatic.
So the automatic first down on the pass interference. And the Monarchs have a fresh set at the 42. Jones completes the pass. And that's Jason Booth.
Back on the field. Okay, that's a first
Jason
down.
Booth, I'm impressed with Jones's arm, aren't you?
And it's another first down for the Monarchs. There's our favorite sports writer, Mr. Michael Keach.
Yeah, he's
doing his business on the sideline.
And he's a young man that gives you all your help, doesn't he?
And a few other things I don't ask for.
But
Mr.
you
K.
pay good, though,
Balls
don't you?
away, fellas.
Good man. Flag down on the play. Incomplete pass, again intended for Jason Booth, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
51 wide.
That's going to be holding against the Monarchs, so their woes continue.
Well, when you're out man, and I'm talking pound-wise,
holding against the offense, repeat first down.
I mean, they put some awesome pressure on you with the size of those interior linemen, and then those linebackers coming in, the hitman and Tillery, and those guys, they just put some hurting on you. So you try to protect your quarterback, and sometimes you get caught for grabbing a hold.
This is Walker on the receiving end of Jones's pass to about the 47, 48. Makes it second down now and about 15 to go. Jones again to pass. Pushing. Oh, what a lick. He held on to the ball.
Jovan Quillen put a hit on him. When you're a quarterback, you like to do that every now and then, right?
Tremendous hit, but give credit to Jason Booth. He held on to the ball.
Man, did he
There
ever.
was some hand pushing. Watch on the replay. I don't know if we'll see it or not.
Yeah.
No, you don't see it, but boy, do you see it.
But there was some little hands going on there, right?
That could have been offensive pass interference, quite frankly. It looked like the receiver pushed off just before the ball got there, but the official far closer to the play than I was called no call, and an excellent catch, and give him credit for holding on, because Jovan Quillen lowered the boom on him, and he took and held on to it. This, not a good pass, almost picked off by the Kecoughtan Warriors. That was Sean McGinnis who had a shot at it.
Yeah, he had a better shot at it than the receiver that time. Marcus Walker, nowhere close to where the ball came down.
9:40.
You know, as a quarterback, you don't get to hit many people. But when you get a shot like Jovan Quillen got that time, you just love it.
Jones in the game, 9 out of 14 with 1 pick for 134 yards and a touchdown. So the junior quarterback in relief of McMillan has done a fine job for Menchville. This is the reverse. And Kecoughtan had that one red, and that was number 11 for Kecoughtan, Brian Hart.
He was where he was supposed to be.
Yep, stayed at home.
And there was a people that could have blocked him. Somebody just didn't pick up the assignment.
So loss of about 4 on the play makes it 3rd down and 14 to go for the Monarchs. About the only thing that's worked for them here is the pass. 134 yards in the air for Jones coming in to this next play. And Jones will be sacked. A flag down, late flag. Willie Sherman in on the sack.
There is a flag. There are flags on the play.
And I suspect the flag will be another holding call.
Yeah.
It comes in that area where you'll usually see that call.
And he was tackled clear back further than that, so they just won't take that penalty because they'll bring up 4th down.
Holding against the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So you heard Carter Ficklin, the referee, tell you that exactly what Bob said. They would, needless to say, take the play because of the huge loss. Makes it 4th down and way too much. Fourth down at about 23. Belote will be on to punt for, and it's a fake. The ball is snapped right to Jason Booth, and that will be for naught as they had to go all the way down to the 16-yard line.
David Budden, the defensive end, 6'2", 228 senior. They just collared him, but you're right. They had a long way to go. Not a good center either. I mean, a snap from the center.
28 carries in the ball game for Menchville now and -4 yards rushing. So the Kecoughtan defense has just been outstanding, and they take over on downs at their 38-yard line. The pitch to Palmer. Antonio Palmer has the speed. He's got the corner. He's got one man goal, but he's going to touch him. He's gone. Antonio Palmer from 62 yards out.
5'8", 150. He's not a big kid, Tim, just a junior, but boy, he showed some speed on that play.
Oh, he's got a lot of speed. That's Palmer's second big rushing touchdown. He had a 28-yarder in the first half. So he has almost 100 yards, 90 to be exact, on just those 2 carries alone. He's got 3 carries in the game for 98 yards, but he has 2 of them for 90.
I see Brian Smith is in to attempt the point after this time.
And it's right through the uprights. So the 62-yard run by Antonio Palmer makes it 47-6.
Oh,
let's talk about our crew a little bit here. There is Ron, ESPN, stand on the sideline and take his hits bait. Waving to the fans next to Mike Keach. There, Mike.
Get out of the way, Mike. And, of course, we don't forget his two young ladies that pulled the cord, and that's the two Hamilton twins who are excellent track stars over Bethel High School.
The man on your left there, Nathaniel Braxton, doing the yeoman's job.
Nathaniel, I don't want rain on my head, Braxton.
Nope, ball goes into the end zone. That will be a touchback.
We got Andy Foley down at the other end.
We can see if we can get a shot of Andy in just a minute as Ron will position themselves for that, I'm sure. Of course, in the van, Bianca Petaway working on the graphics tonight. Bev Penn doing her usual excellent job on the instant replay. Didn't leave anybody out.
The big guy.
Scotty Beam Me Up Bowers, the director, doing a great job as always. We appreciate our Channel 5 crew, the A-team out here. Bob Killen contributing with the statistics tonight. 8:01 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, before we leave tonight, make sure Killen gets his shoes back on, would you? He gets to adding these things up, he's got to use his toes.
Gain of about a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 for the Monarchs. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Kecoughtan on their way to their 3rd victory of the season. I was talking with Mike Keach at halftime, talking about the power ratings and the possibilities for postseason play. Excellent job of stacking up the interference there. Did you see number 11, Brian Hart, just destroy the blocking?
And that's what Kecoughtan does. It just doesn't let you get a good block on them. Talking to Mike Keach, what was that?
Yeah, what he was saying, and we were talking about the power ratings and the fact that Kecoughtan and Hampton both only have 9 games during the regular season. Neither one of them can get a 10th opponent. But as long as Hampton stays unbeaten, they'll win the Peninsula District and have the opportunity to represent Division 5. I'll talk about it later when we have no band. Sack as Jones is taken down by the Warriors, number 72, Greg McLaurin.
Well, one thing that'll happen is if you only play 9 games, even if you're undefeated, somebody who plays 10 games is undefeated, they're going to be the home seed. So Hampton and Kecoughtan very well could both make the playoffs and end up playing away from, here's what you're saying, right?
And even as the Peninsula District champion, which they would be if they go undefeated, they run the risk of having to travel for the first game, perhaps because of the power ratings. That 9-game schedule. And my understanding is they did everything they could to get a 10th team. They were even willing to go outside the state.
And they tried to get outside the state, anybody.
So on the punt, Morant fair catches the ball at the 45. It was a 32-yarder. Malote's had a lot of experience kicking the ball tonight. Back to the live action. Antonio Palmer gets the call, and he is wrapped up shy of the 40-yard line. Let's call it a gain of 4. So as we get down inside of 6 minutes to go, Bob, we need to talk about player of the game.
Yeah, I tell you, if you look at Kecoughtan, you got to look at not only Morant, but Forte, Dunlap, Tillery, Hicks, just to name a few, Budden. They've all done a great job. Quillen. On the other side, you look at Kente Blunt, Weeks, Reed, Walker, Stabler, Jones. Jones done a great job coming in at quarterback. And, of course, Jason Booth.
Keith hit man now goes on the other side of the ball to be the hit-or instead of the hitty. And he carried the ball that time. This is him on the handoff as Kurt Newsom now has gone to some backups. First and 10 for the Warriors.
This young man here has really impressed me tonight.
Antonio Palmer, late flag down. It might be face mask. I'll tell you who I'm leaning towards for Menchville is Jones, the quarterback.
Well, I kind of looked at Jones too because he came in off of in a really a tough situation. I was leaning towards Kente Blunt. Got 2 fumble recoveries tonight. Sacrificed a place in the backfield to play on the line. You know, that's tough to do. So, yeah, either one of those 2 would be a good one.
Holding on the offense. Repeat.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Palmer. You know, Morant just had an awesome game. He started off on a huge run. So
Palmer, 4 carries, 102 yards.
Yeah, see, there's another young man you can't overlook. We might want to go on the defensive side. Tillery's had a great job. Hicks has had an outstanding job.
I'm inclined with the difficulty in choosing an offensive player to go with Marlon Hicks. I think he's done a real good job. We've seen time after time the Menchville Monarchs try the middle of that line and just get nothing.
They run into Marlon. You're right. I'll go along with that.
Or Hitman, either one. Hitman, Keith Hitman would be another one. But let's give it with Marlon Hicks and with an asterisk to say there's a lot of young men who deserve an opportunity as well, and this man with the ball is one of them.
That's right.
I am impressed with Antonio Palmer.
He is a tough runner. Just never quits running, and he's only 5'8", 150, but he'll be back next year.
And we'll go with, and again, not an easy decision, but we'll go with Mr. Jones.
And that's Robert Jones, right?
Yeah, Robert Jones, the backup quarterback. Came off the bench when McMillan was injured and has performed extremely well under a tough circumstance under any event, and then to play against this tough Kecoughtan defense. Robert Jones from Menchville, our player of the game, and Marlon Hicks from Kecoughtan.
And there
the
goes
hitman with the ball.
Three, Tom. Three, we're short.
So Kurt Newsom getting a chance to play some players in the backup roles, which is always a coach's dream to get that experience. There's nothing like game experience. And he's using Howard Dunlap at quarterback.
I was looking, I'm thinking, is that Dunlap playing quarterback? But it is, isn't it?
Man is in the backfield along with Palmer. Pitch goes to Palmer. Palmer with that great speed turns the corner inside the 15. Another first down for the Warriors.
And he coming up limping a little bit.
Yep, he's limping a lot actually. He's hurt that right ankle. That's a shame. That young man had a great evening going. And he's going to try and put some weight on it, but
yeah, he's kind of walking off.
Yeah, but sometimes you're better off not to. You might have hurt it, and you just need to make sure. He's coming off. Antonio Palmer just had an outstanding ball game in just a limited role. 7 carries for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns for Antonio Palmer. This is Keith Mann, and the hitman is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Less than 2 minutes to go now, 1:50, and the clock is moving. Play comes in from the sideline with Darren Tyson bringing in a 6'2", 240-pound junior. And now Palmer's able to come right back in, so I'm glad to see that that might have just been a cramp.
I was going to say that it may have been a cramp. You just took
he had a miraculous recovery. He's not limping at all now. So Mann and Palmer, the pitch goes to Palmer. He cuts it inside, and Palmer is stacked up at about the 13-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 9. Well, actually, they give him no progress at all, so make it 3rd down and 10 with less than a minute to go. Kecoughtan with 47 points tonight. Their biggest output of the, I checked that, let me correct myself, they had 49 last week against Heritage. So they have become a high-powered offense here the last couple of weeks, and Palmer is thrown for a loss. In on the play, number 25, Daryl Cheever.
Tim, number 7, Nolan Cutler, 6 foot 170, 9th grader, came in at the fullback that spot, threw a nice block.
So the Warriors with a 4th and 15 may or may not get this next play away. There you see the time running out, down to 5 seconds, and I think they're just going to let the clock expire, and they will. So that'll do it.
We want to
get our players of the game. Robert Jones, the quarterback from Menchville, gets our nod for player of the game from Menchville. And Marlon Hicks anchoring the middle of that defensive line for the Kecoughtan Warriors on an excellent effort by that team. And of course, a host of offensive players for Kecoughtan in consideration. So for the entire Channel 5 crew, for Bob Hintz and for Bob Killen, this is Tim Cole. The final score again, Kecoughtan 47 and Menchville 6. Good night, everybody. Tonight's broadcast has been underwritten by the following. Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zooms, home of the Sub Club and the Bubba Club deal. By Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, where they never have an overtime charge. And Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director.
Hey, we got live down here.
1, 2, ready, play!